This is a sort of a few shots of what the site looks like. We have games going all the way back to the 1950s, all the way up to brand new machines like the AC/DC, the Avengers. When the Wizard of Oz comes out in a month or two, we will have one of those. And these are just some artwork shots of games that are available around the hall.
They gave me a microphone now.
Oh no,
I don't have to scream.
Yeah, what? You have something to say? Or are you just going to say on the microphone?
Pop is incredible. You all need to come. It's an amazing place. I mean, where else are you going to find close to 500 pinball machines in a 30,000 square foot facility? Look at the banners. You have any idea how hard it was to hang those up? Do you have any idea what we went through?
I wasn't there. That was your job.
You were in Boston.
One of the goals of POP is to promote tournaments, and we've begun to operate a circuit of tournaments around the country. There'll be one tournament every month this year, including tournaments in Pittsburgh, in Los Angeles, in Seattle, and Austin, Texas, and with a total prize package of over $150,000 in cash for the winners in those tournaments.
Well, you're not
we'll bring all those. What?
You're not really counting the POP tournament, so we got 60 grand in Pittsburgh just this year. Or am I just that bad at math?
Yeah, you're bad at math.
All right.
This is what it is. How many pictures are there of this thing?
There's a lot. I don't know. I don't know. I did what I did. Just deal with it. Talk.
Is that it? Are you done? Is it over?
There's more. No,
come on.
Here, look at this beautiful pan. This is our facility here. Whenever you're playing Pinball, all the games are set up in groups of 4, and so you have to learn how to play all different styles of pinball machines. You can't just play some of the newer stuff. You got to play the newer stuff, and then immediately transition into an electromechanical game, and then transition into into one from like the late 80s or the 90s, and then into one from like 70s to the 80s. So to be a pinball champion, you got to be able to play not only a bunch of different games from one era, but games from like the last 5 decades. So it's a lot of studying, it's a lot of practice. You got to be able to do it all. Sorry, I cut it off.
You did. So what we're going to do is show you a few examples of pinball play, and we'll also invite people up here to play the games and challenge us. If you win, you get swag. If you lose, you might get swag.
By swag, we need awesome t-shirts.
And we got some good stuff. So let's switch over and see how that camera is.
I don't know. Might blow up when I switch it.
Is it terrible? Oh no! Oh, the humanity.
The fact that
the sadness of it all.
The fact that you all clap for that makes me feel like the clap for me earlier didn't really mean that much. Because this is what I want. So.
All right. Just the initial strategy on these games. So we'll talk through a couple of different strategies on the game as we go. The base strategy, if you've never seen this game before, is to just shoot what's flashing and don't wail away. You don't have to push the flipper button every time the ball comes. In fact, it can be to your advantage to let the ball bounce over from one side to the other to deaden the momentum of the ball. That's called a bounce over or a chill or maneuver, or they had all sorts of stupid names for it.
Just continue up flipping, playing, and just thinking that the best possible scenario is to get that ball to the top of the playfield. But playing in control and kind of guiding yourself and understanding that pinball is not necessarily a totally random thing, but is something that you control. Every time you drain in this game, it's your fault, and it's an unusual thing for a lot of players who aren't really experienced in it to kind of to recognize.
That's the strategy, the initial strategy, but the game is deliberately built to mess you up if you use this strategy. And the reason is the position of that shot. If I hit those red targets, the ball's going to come screaming back to my flippers. So as you progress in pinball, you realize, hey, there are other shots, and some that are safe, like the shot on the left. If I shoot that shot, the ball's going to come back to me without much difficulty. Shoot the shot on the right. It's going to come back to you without much difficulty. And as you progress, you realize you don't always have to make the shot right at the middle. Oh, son of a...
I would have tilted it even if you didn't right there.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
They kicked me out of the other place because I was in front of the camera, so I'm going to come out with you.
Good job. Well, what we'd like to do here is invite 3 people up on stage to play a 4-player game.
There's a test.
There's a test? No. All right, we got... one over here. We talked to you. Before the show, so come on up.
What is Larry?
And,
Larry.
There were 2 other people we talked to before. Who are you guys? We talked to 2 others. Came up. Joe and was it Larry?
Larry had enthusiasm. Come on up.
All right. So we got some of these. We got some T-shirts here from the Stern Pinball Factory. They make most of the pinball machines produced in America. And so here you go. Thanks. try to move the camera into a better position here as we apologize to Joe. Your moment in the sun will be destroyed.
No looming.
As adjustments are made. Oh, well, it's still sideways, sorry. Alright, so that's a good catch right there. And the catch gives you an opportunity to make a shot. And as it comes down the right, the ball gets out of control a little bit. So we're going to talk next about what kinds of nudging you can do. That's too much. But this will bring down the shield for you, and you're doing alright. Here's a chance to catch. Perfect catch. Nice job.
In addition to...
You've earned this signed flyer from Jersey Jack Pinball, as well as the shirt for making a successful drop catch during that ball.
You also have to weigh how you feel about it, and you have to stick to the shots in a lot of situations that, you know, are going to keep the ball in play.
So Larry was actually a victim of side-to-side motion. If the ball goes left, right, or in this case up and down, it's much more likely to hit these out lanes. And the out lanes are designed to eat your ball, and a lot of people come to pinball and they're like, how do I get the ball to stop going down the out lane? It just goes over there and then it's gone, and I don't have any control over it. And the answer is you do have control. Notice here what I'm doing is trying to deaden the control. Get control of the balls. All three balls are under control. And
Good. I want to talk.
you talk, fine, shut up.
You're talking over me. You can't hear me because of this.
All right, good. You got nothing to say.
One of the things that really...
That bot.
One of the things that should be mentioned is that control during multi-ball play is no different than control during single ball play. You still need to maintain your composure in all the different balls. Just because there's a bunch of different things that are happening all at once doesn't mean that every time you train it isn't your fault.
A couple other skills to talk about before we bring up the next group. One is a post transfer. And although this isn't a good time for it, say you need the ball on the other side. There's a few things to do. One is to just make a shot that sends the ball to the other side. Another is to flop it over and just hold up the flipper and watch it kick over to the other side if there's enough momentum. So here this should kick over, but if it didn't, you could give the game a little push and increase the momentum. But a post transfer is the third way, and you can basically push it off the corner of the corner there and then try to flop it over. That was not really pretty. That wasn't pretty either, but it was effective. You got the ball the other side and the speed. And there was another skill that when the next group comes up, I want somebody to try, and I'll give an extra prize if someone does it. When the ball is coming off a side wall, like this wall, it will come down and hit this slingshot and get out of control. If you hit the side of the machine while it's coming off a wall, you can influence the ball when it's not even anywhere near your flippers. Push it a little bit further to the left, and it comes down to your flipper instead. Do the hat. And I don't know. You pick one?
Me?
Yeah.
This guy right here looks really excited.
All right. Sweet, man. Thanks so much. Okay, so again, if you beat us, you're going to win the Wizard of Oz backlash. If you if you tap it off the wall, you'll get swag, and you're pretty much going to get swag no matter what happens. So don't worry about it too much. But you beat him. 70 million to 79 million, and that was a pretty good costume. So this is a good chance to drop catch out of there. Good attempt to drop catch. Drop catch is dropping the flipper instead of raising the flipper. So you played before? What is your name?
You can tell the way he's controlling the ball.
He's got the stance. So when it comes down out of that kick out, start it with your flipper up and drop the flipper instead of what you're doing is flipping at it as the ball comes. That will let you get better control. Thanks again. We got 4? All right, go ahead. If you can beat them, we'll give you the better shirt. No, you were the worst. You don't get the shirt. Player 2 wins the shirt. Wait, who was player 2? I don't know. Where's player 2? Well, you win the shirt.
Just take it and go sit down.
All right, let's beat that.
You beat it. I don't want to. I'm hurt.
All right, let's beat that. All right, let's beat that split flipper.
Okay.
Split flipper is a way to play with 2 players. Just plunge it. Should we beat this without flipping? Or
Right side or left side?
All right, let's try. I'm bouncing it over.
I'm going saucer. Risk
all right, go
day.
saucer. Risk all day. Go ahead. Go for it. Do something. What? I have to flip? Oh, whatever. I'm not flipping. All right, we won. So one of the things that happens with Attack from Mars, and we use this game in competitions a lot, is that players have to get used to whatever the specific Attack from Mars is doing. So I may think that the shot is here when it's actually there a little bit based on the strength of the flipper, the tilt settings, the altitude of the game, no, the pitch of the game, and all that stuff. So this is why pinball and video games, the competitions are nowhere near the style of one another. In video games, like in King of Kong, you got two guys in completely separate parts of the country playing on Donkey Kong because they literally know that they're getting the exact same game and the exact same experience on it. But in order to play pinball competition, you have to go to the same place and beat those people on the exact same pinball machine on the exact same time, and that's the only real fair competition there can be. But it also means you get a lot more camaraderie, you learn from one another, everything is visible. So unlike some secret strategy someone has in a video game to win or stalk or snipe, everything that happens in a pinball competition is visible, even more so now that we have these top-down cameras to show every flip, every shot, and every wave.
It was last year, Dorian Engelbrechtson, who was the world champion in what, Top of 10, was it, 2007?
I remember that, I lost that final.
He came over from Sweden, and he was playing a game, and he calls me over, calls a tech call over, and he says, this game's not level. And I said, okay, sure, we'll pull out my level and take a look at it. It was like a 1/10 of a degree off, and he was right. And he's played so much pinball in so many games that he can tell things like that just through repetition, through muscle memory, and through, just through experience with the games. And we're talking about a guy playing a game all the way in Sweden, coming over here and telling me mine's a 1/10 of a degree off. And then, whenever you weigh things like that, the players who know exactly how a game should play versus all of the different little details, that happen because the game's a mechanical game, it's just such a beautiful marriage of, of randomness and of skill and of experience. I mean, that's the kind of thing, that's the beauty that makes pinball great. Success going to locations who have given back to the pinball community in different ways and maybe just building a tournament there, and it's something that we take a lot of pride in, and that's all I got.
Yeah, so if you're anywhere in these areas, this is the tournament schedule for the rest of this year and next year, as goes Lyons, Colorado, Washington, Santa Clara, California. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in August is the World Championship with a top prize of $10,000, and there's a trophy over there. Can you hold that up for a second? So we were thinking of giving this trophy away. This is, we're not calling it that, would be unfair. This is the World Championship trophy from a previous year. They get bigger and better every year, and players come from literally all over the world, including Australia, Europe, Asia.
So, being that you're all at PAX, you're all gamers, you've all probably experienced this, but I would like to get a round of applause for my wife, who has watched me play pinball for 100,000 hours. I know you've all been there, and this was my moment, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Do you have as much pinball experience as Steven Seagal has weapons experience? Here's also our online contact information if you'd like to see us on Twitter, our blog, or Facebook. Most important of these is our video archive. Pinball.org/videos. We have been collecting tournament footage as well as tutorial videos on games throughout the past couple of years. Basically, ever since we've been able to do it with top-down cameras. In the future, one of our major goals is to begin to broadcast these events live on the internet at a quality that they can be viewed and understood.
We keep mentioning this pinball community. Let's roll. And it's true, whenever you go to websites like pinside.com, Rec Games Pinball, things like that, you're going to have thousands of people talking about hundreds of different topics every day, all related to pinball. And you're asking me where to buy games. Well, whenever you're part of that community and you come to tournaments and come to events, you meet people. And generally speaking, if I need to find a game, I call my friends because the people that I've hung out with and that I've dealt with. It's unusual in that way. I mean, whenever I go out to Denver in May to help run the Lions Triathlon, I'm going to see a lot of people that I saw last year, and it's like, hey, come on, let's stop now. So, it really is a community more than a lot of other hobbies that I've experienced. Next question. I think he has a chance. I'm going to come over to you. I think there's a little. How do you determine which tables are used for tournaments? I throw darts at the wall. No, actually, as you play pinball, you're going to recognize that certain games offer certain opportunities that other games do not. Some games are designed more poorly than others. It's not necessarily my job as a tournament director running the World Championships to pick games that I think people want to play. It's my job to find out who the best pinball player is. So I will, through experience, through practice myself, through manipulating the way the games play, find games, ideally, that force players into using the widest breadth of skill sets whenever it comes to pinball. So if a game is a one-shot wonder, just shoot the same thing over and over and over, chances are I'm not going to be as likely to use it. Now, I'm not going to say I won't use it, but chances are it's not going to be, high on my list. Line of color slightly different, just to try and keep the game fresh, and just to try and change the angle pressure. What are you talking about?
Get the Calvinian book.
Are you serious? It's not even on camera.
That's why the camera isn't orange. People can see this. This is awesome.
I'm coming over.
Cows everywhere.
There's cows. Oh no. Look at all the
Comes the mother cow.
The mother cow. This is very rare. It's a cow. I can't believe you.
Mother cow.
So to keep pinball fresh, just insert cows in this.
Absolutely. Brand new player, what should you be aware of? When walking up to a game for the very first time, basically find the thing that's the most interesting and try hitting that a lot. Because chances are you hit it 3 or 4 times and something good is going to happen, and you're going to have to figure it out as you go. The other thing is that each game has a rules card to the left, the bottom left, that explains some of the most basic features of the game. So for a game you've never seen before, that's one place to get started. But also, anything that's flashing is usually worth more. What? Oh! Flashing shots are usually worth more, and so you basically go for what's flashing.
This game is really heavy, and they're kicking us out, and I don't have a lot of time, so they're not kicking us out, they're very generous. Right. But it's very heavy, and I need to get started breaking it down. I want to thank everyone for coming in.
Thank you so much.